what we're going to be doing with this is just practicing the some of the paint editing tools a little bit. In the layers, I want you to duplicate the background. So we can go into, we could right click, we could choose duplicate layer, or if the layer is selected, you can press Control and the letter J, and that's kind of a shortcut for duplicating. We'll just call it modified background. And we'll hide that. And the tools we're going to be using are in this little group here: blur, sharpen, and smudge. And we're also going to be using dodge, burn, and the sponge, just so you can see what they do. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to start with the burn tool. And the burn tool is supposed to make things darker. Now, looking at the size of my brush, that is way too big. So I am going to use the left bracket to make that much smaller. And I'm just going to drag a little bit over here. And you can see right away, it is making it darker. And that is what burn does. Now, where we've got range, it says midtones. If we wanted to do something with the back of the chair, we might want to change that to highlights. And it kind of darkens that too. Now we're going to use the sponge next. Now the sponge can either saturate, which means it's going to make the color more intense, or it can desaturate, which takes color out. So we're going to have it at desaturate. And for the size, you know, anything between 15, 30, anything in there is fine. And we are going to go over one of the seats, and what you should notice is it's taking the color out. Because that is what the sponge does when it's set to desaturate. Now we're going to change it back to saturate. Now it's going to add color back in. So if we go over some of that again, you can see it's now putting in color. We're going to take a look at dodge. Dodge lightens. That is what it's supposed to do. So if we go over some of our burned areas, now you don't want to overdo this because sometimes it gets pixelated. And you'll know if yours is pixelated because it won't look good. But dodge lightens and burn darkens. You can kind of see that. We're going to take a look at the smudge tool. And this is much like finger painting. So we're going to go over the yellow chair. Okay, and you can see what it does. So, you know, if you're kind of into more psychedelic effects, you're really going to like the smudge tool. It looks like it's melting, very hot on the deck. We're going to take a look at the blur tool. If you've got jagged edges, the blur tool is actually kind of nice. What it does is it just kind of blurs the detail of whatever you are rubbing it over. So, you know, I'll use it for like a jagged edge kind of thing. You can kind of see how those imperfections now aren't showing up. Okay, so that's pretty much what all these different tools do. If you're using tools like this and you want to back out of changes, history is actually pretty helpful, okay, because you can see everything that you've done. Now, the default is normally to choose 20 or to save 20 states. And you can see it doesn't take long to fill this thing up. In fact, I don't even have all my changes. But with history, I can actually click and it backs out of those changes, or I can click and reapply them. So that's kind of a neat tool. And I do want you to kind of mess up this image, play with these tools, and then save your changes.